Hey Stardew Valley fans! Welcome to the Prismatic Shard Sequin Ornament Kit tutorial from Semi-Priceless. You should have received your ornament kit in the mail. You will have a styrofoam octagon, you'll have pins, you'll have these polymer clay prismatic shards that I made for you, and you'll have corresponding sequins for all the colors in the prismatic shard, so lovely rainbow colors. Finally, you'll have this multicolored ribbon. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the middle of the ribbon and you're going to secure it using a pin to one of the smaller faces on the octagon. And then you're going to wrap the ribbon around the octagon and secure the ribbon to the styrofoam using pins. This doesn't need to be exact, you just want to make sure that the ribbon doesn't slip off of the styrofoam. Now imagine you're wrapping a present. You're going to take the ribbon, tie a knot, and wrap the ribbon in the opposite direction around the styrofoam. And again, just pin the ribbon into place so that the ribbon isn't slipping around. And then at the very top, secure it and tie a double knot. This is now the top of the ornament, and you can use that to orient yourself. You want the stripes of prismatic shard to go diagonally, not horizontally, so use that top knot to orient yourself and make sure that you're always going diagonally across the ornament. In order to make this ornament, there are two sequin application techniques you need to know. The first is the basic. You take a sequin, and you take a pin, and you just stick it through the hole in the sequin and attach it to the styrofoam. Easy peasy. And then when you're attaching a second sequin, you want to layer that over the first sequin, sort of like a Venn diagram, and then push a pin in. Super easy. The second is a little more complicated. You notice, because this is an octagon, that we have some edges. So you actually want to fold the sequin in half, create an edge on the sequin, like so, and then you're actually lining up that crease in the sequin with the edge of the octagon, and then sticking the pin through the hole, like so. Now that you know both of these techniques, the next step in making this ornament is to pick one edge of the octagon, and you're going to place folded sequins all along that edge. So you're going to start with these pink-purple sequins, and then you're going to move on to red and to orange, and then all the different colors of the prismatic shard. To give you an idea of what this will look like once you're done with all the colors, here's the final result. If you go on semipriceless.com, I have placed a diagram on the website with all the different colors, just so you know how many of each color you want to fold and place on this first side of the octagon. It's important to get this step right because this is going to serve as a guide for the rest of the ornament. And you'll see how with this next step. Now that you have all the folded sequins in place, you're going to start on one of the larger faces of the octagon, and you're going to create stripes of color diagonally across the ornament. So here, essentially, you're connecting the dots that you've already put onto the ornament. So you're connecting pink on one side to pink on the other side, and red on one side to red on the other side, and so on. At this point in the ornament, you have a choice. When you're connecting those dots, you can choose to just have very defined stripes of color. So pink is all pink, red is all red, and so on. But here, if you notice what I'm doing, is I'm actually trying to get the effect of blending colors into the next, sort of like an ombre effect. And so what I'm actually doing is I'm putting a stripe of pink, and then a stripe of pink and red, and then a stripe of red, and then a stripe of red and orange, and then a stripe of orange. Again, I will put a diagram of this process onto semipriceless.com so you can fully see how I achieved this effect. But again, if you want to do just plain color stripes, that's totally fine and it'll look great. Once you're done with that first large octagon face, you're just going to extend the stripes that you created on that face over the sides of the ornament. So if there's a blue stripe on the face of the octagon, you're just going to extend that blue stripe straight down over the side of the ornament, like so. If there was a stripe that had sort of an ombre effect, so let's say it had dark blue and light blue, you extend that stripe with dark blue and light blue down the sides. It's sort of like paint by numbers. The only thing to be aware of as you're going through this part of the process is when you reach that top knot of the ornament, you are going to just work around it. You don't need to put a sequin on top of the top knot, just put sequins all around that top knot. And similarly, when you reach that cross of ribbon that's at the bottom of the ornament, you actually want to leave that exposed right now because that's where you're going to put those prismatic shards that are made of polymer clay. Once you've finished covering the sides of the octagon, then you're actually going to start folding sequins again so you can cover that edge of the second large face of the octagon. You're going to do exactly what you did the first time around, just on the other side. And don't overthink which colors go where, you're just extending those same stripes that started on that first face and extended around the sides onto that new face of the octagon. So again, paint by numbers, just keep extending the stripe. Once you're done with covering that last edge, I think you can guess the next step. Just keep extending those stripes and cover that last large face of the octagon. I hope at this point in the process you're enjoying it. It's reached a kind of zen a coloring book type pace, but just as a reminder, if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. Just take the sequin and the pin out and stick it back in again where it should be. Trust me, the styrofoam won't disintegrate. You can keep inserting and taking out pins many, many times and it'll be just fine. So feel free to make adjustments so that it looks exactly the way you want it to look. I've been making sequin ornaments for years, but even I had to backtrack a little bit, take some pins out and put them back in because I realized that I wasn't layering my sequins quite tight enough and I was running out of room to put the blue sequins on in the end. So don't be afraid of fixing mistakes and really getting it the way that you want. And just like that, you'll be ready for the final step of putting the polymer clay charm on that exposed ribbon that you left at the bottom of the ornament. All you have to do here is take a pin, you're going to thread it through a sequin, and then you're going to stick that pin through the small knot at the top of the polymer clay pendant, and you're going to secure that to that bottom of the ornament. So the sequin helps keep the pendant in place. And there you have it, the Prismatic Shard Sequin Ornament. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and I can't wait to see what you make.